Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you. And this is a video that I've wanted to do for a while, but I never really found the timing of when I wanted to upload it or how I wanted to do this. And I do think that I've found a little bit of how I wanted to go about it. And basically, what I want to talk about is the One Piece market, but realistically, the supply of One Piece product that we have. And I know that there are a lot of people looking for product and trying to get their hands on cards, and we just have so many new players coming into the game, which is fantastic. And if you are one of those new players, just so you know, from what I've heard from other Bandai games, there will be, you know, a reprint of a lot of, you know, potential older cards and stuff like that in the future. But we do have a little bit of an issue right now because a lot of the cards that are being kind of quote-unquote reprinted, but realistically they're just different artworks of certain cards, are cards that we have already 5 different artworks of. So getting your hands on certain cards can be very difficult in this market and at this point in the game. Now, how do we remedy that situation? How do we go from here and present ourselves, you know, as a community where we have, like, not this insanely volatile market? It's going to really come down to Bandai's decision making. And I just wanted to go over a few ideas that could be the remedy to this situation. And what made me really spur into wanting to make this video was looking over the Bandai Twitter page. And if you click on any post, pretty much, you know, the One Piece card game English version, you click on any post, basically the comments are print more cards, fix your app. Oh, that was the UTA thing today. If you tried to sign up for the UTA event, I hope you had fun, because I didn't. Fix your distribution, yeah. And then, you know, scrolling down into more stuff, you know, it's like, we need cards, any of them. Fix your supply issues, fix your app, no stock, so indecent prices, no stock, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, how about releasing more OPO5 so it's not $10 a booster? Obviously, people are trying to get their hands on product. It's very difficult. I know that OPO5 is a big chase set right now because there's a lot of incredibly amazing cards in there, and like the chase cards are out of this world cool. It's a very popular set. First anniversary of the game as well. But if we're talking about stock as a whole, you know, obviously they've been printing a lot more with OPO5 and OPO4 than they did, you know, the first 2 sets. Set 1 and 2 was very low printed because they had to gauge the interest in the game. That's totally fair, totally understandable, and that's why we see boxes for OPO1 at a staggering price of almost $600 a box. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. But if you are a collector, you know, having got one of these early was definitely the play, but getting it now might be your best option. I don't know if we'll ever see some reprints of full-on sets. However, it does seem like we will have potential opportunities for revised or new artworks of previous cards from sets 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And, you know, as I was talking about it, Paramount War also extremely high priced, you know, just because there was a, you know, lower print on these first 2 sets just to gauge interest, see if there's a recurring fan base, and obviously there is now. And now with that, we've gone into Awakening of the New Era being at 275. This is mind-boggling to me because I think that I underestimated this at the very beginning, thinking about how many players were interested in the game and are playing now the game actively. So this is much higher than I thought it was going to be, because I believe we're on wave 3 now of OPO5 coming out, which is shocking to say the least that the price is still so high. But It doesn't even stop at the booster boxes. We have some of the starter decks coming down to $100. I shouldn't say down. Excuse me, up to $100 for starter deck 4, just for some queen cards. That's it. It's an incredible blocker. It's such a staple in like almost every single purple deck, and future purple decks. So not having that card hurts you if you're really trying to play the deck competitively. And as well as starter deck 6 having a ton of additions to the Sakazuki build, and that's just massive. Like, you gotta have some of these cards in order to, you know, play the deck appropriately, and that really does make a lot of this, you know, lack of product in the first couple of sets really difficult for newer players to get into the game and play competitively. And it doesn't, you know, stop with the starter decks as well. It also boils into singles coming from different sets. Charlotte Katakuri at $85 for a secret rare is absurd, right? But it is the most used card in any yellow deck in the current meta, and that's why the price tag is so high. You know, eventually I could see it dropping down, but I don't see it getting still to a affordable secret rare level of like potentially $20, which is where a lot of the secret rares have been in the previous sets. Borsalino, a super rare at $50. I mean, need I say more? But we also have really, really rare cards like the ones that came out in the sealed battle kit volume 1. 2 of my stores that I signed up for this event, they didn't even get the product in. So we never got to do the event, and I never got to get my hands on any of these cards, which is just upsetting. And yes, I know that these will be reprinted from a premium Bandai order that's going to have some of the live action characters in there. But with that in mind, what if you didn't pre-order that? Then you're just not going to get some of these potentially insane cards for future decks, and the price is going to go even more up. It's scary to think about, but with some of these prices in mind, and as far as what I was talking about, what are some of the solutions? Well, first things first, the easiest first solution: print more boxes, print more sets. And I know that might not be what they want to do, as well as it might not be feasible to get out to everybody while also printing, a new set that's coming out. So I know that it's maybe not the most realistic thing to hope for, but it is the surefire way to help out a lot, is mass print all of the previous sets. But a second thing is, and this is this is easily the easiest thing that they could do: tournament packs. Put cards in tournament packs that are obvious staples that are used in every single deck. The English version Twitter, they post deck lists on here of winning decks. I'd have to scroll down a little bit, but they for sure do post deck lists. So like, look at this. Here's more deck lists for inspiration, right? Top 2 players use these. And now you can see, oh, these are some of the cards, right? So if they're aware of where top players are placing in the cards that are necessary, and they're realizing, oh, every single player runs this card, and that's why the price of this card is so high, tournament pack. Give us an alt art version of it. Or like, just a standard. It's not hollow or anything unless you get the winner, but just give us a regular version. It makes everybody able to get their hands on these cards. Now, I know that the secret rare arguably shouldn't be something that could be in a tournament pack, but I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it, but I can understand if there would be some frustration on that. But just some super rares and stuff. Like, do we need another 5-cost Rush Luffy? How many of those do we have? How many Searcher Namis do we have? I mean, we have so many. And obviously, they're the Straw Hat Crew. They're staples in the story, in the show, in the game. But come on, we got to start doing some other cards, because it is getting out of control for certain people to get their hands on cards, and that's just sad. I don't want to see that. I want to see everybody able to get their hands on product and be able to play the game, or if they can't get their hands on product, be able to buy the singles at a reasonable price. And you know, what are some other solutions that we can present? Yet again, like I said at the very beginning, I would love to hear if you guys have any ideas, but I had a few more. Another one would be to use Japanese cards to allow them to be used in at least local tournaments, right? To be fair, though, if you go to a local tournament and you're using Japanese cards and somebody, you know, gives you a hard time, that's crazy. I don't know why anybody would give you a hard time for that. It's not even relevant. Like, if you maybe had like a printed piece of paper, sure, I can understand somebody being maybe upset about that. Me, I'd be like, dude, do your thing, use a proxy, I don't care, as long as you're playing the game and having fun. But the Japanese cards, allowing them to be used in English formats for at least at the local level, would, you know, probably remedy a lot of the issues as well. It would not only sell more product for them, it would give players a cheaper alternative that they could get their hands on and be able to collect, but not only use in that local level. And I think that would be a fantastic solution as well. Another one is very similar to the tournament pack style, is having revision packs like we did in OPO2. Obviously, it wouldn't be called revision packs because those were namely made to revise some of the misprints on starter decks 1 through 4 cards. But if we had the, you know, a similar aspect of revision packs put into a box topper or just a pack on top of, you know, some product, it would get more cards out into the market and people would be able to get their hands on them. It might not have the same artwork, and that would be what is the difference between having the original card or not, or they could just keep it the same. Who cares? Who cares if there's more queens out in the world? That would be good. That would be great. That would be so helpful for a lot of people. And Borsalinos, you know, so I don't think we need a 5th or a 6th reprint of certain cards. I would really like to see, you know, the potential of having others be used. And then yeah, and so that's where revision packs could come into play. And lastly, I had the idea of gift collections. These also don't need to be every single, you know, Straw Hat character or like main character from the anime or from the manga. Useful cards, please. Just useful cards. Some of these cards that are so pricey that people want to get their hands on. It would be insane. I want to pick up 3 more Charlotte Katakuris. I can't afford it, though. I want to pick them up just so that I have a playset. I ended up getting rid of mine because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be playing yellow anytime soon. But then I see really cool decks like Black Yellow Luffy coming out in the future. And I was like, that actually looks really neat. I don't know if Katakuri fits into that list, but it seems like a really neat list. And I was like, oh, you know what? I probably should get those 3 back. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't have $300 I can just drop on and justify it for 3 cards. That's crazy, you know? And I think that gift collections can do a phenomenal job of, you know, yet again, going back to what does Bandai want? To make money. They are a business. So if they want to make money, gift collections in mass, you know, put those out every 2 months, mass print, you know, alternate arts or different artworks of certain cards. It would, you know, it would bring out a lot of, you know, new cards to the market and allow people to get their hands on them for cheap. Like, this is $30. Well, it's $50 right here, but, you know, this is $30 MSRP. So $30 MSRP, and you're able to get your hands on a bunch of packs. You know, you're able to get your hands on a bunch of maybe different artworks of some of those necessary cards from previous sets that you can't find anymore unless you're willing to spend an arm and a leg. Like, there's remedies. There's things that can be done. And when you scroll through the Twitter page, it doesn't seem as though those issues are being recognized and tackled. I would like to see that. Yeah. I would like to see that. I would like to see some of these issues tackled, remedied, talked about, mentioned, anything. And hopefully we will. Maybe at Nationals, there might be something that comes out from it. If not, you know, we'll figure it out as we go. But if you are a newer player to the game, just so you know, there's going to be obviously some sort of solution to this at some point. But when is really the question. And I would love to see sooner than later. I think the tournament pack's the easiest thing that they could do. Any of these events, maybe they even throw in some extra tournament packs that are just reprint packs. Like, hey, reprint pack, get a couple extra cards, get your hands on these because people need them. You know, it would absolutely kill. But we shall see. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And yeah, I just wanted to speak my mind on this. I know it was a pretty impromptu video. I just kind of went over it at my own speed, at my own pace, and just kind of rambling here. But I would love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one, all right? Peace.